everyone, my name is Harshita Jain and I'm currently an intern at Lexis & Company. Today I'm going to talk about corporate fraud in detail. So first of all, what is corporate fraud? Corporate fraud consists of activities that are undertaken by an individual or company that are done in a dishonest or an illegal manner, and these are designed to give an advantage to the perpetrating individual or company. Corporate fraud schemes go beyond the scope of an employee's position and are marked by their complexity and economic impact on the business, other employees, and the outside third parties. So the regulatory legislations, some of the regulatory legislations are first like the Indian Contract Act of the 1872, second the IPC Indian Penal Code of 1860, Prevention of Corruption Act 2013, Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2012, then fifth is the Companies Act 1956 and 2013, and Information Technology Act 2008. Seventh is the prohibition of insider trading. Now, what can be the types of frauds? Like there can be several frauds. Like some of the following frauds I'm telling like are theft of cash, physical assets, and confidential information, and then misuse of accounts, procurement of fraud, payroll fraud, financial accounting, misstatements. Then is your inappropriate journal vouchers. Then is the suspense accounting fraud, and also the fraudulent expense claims. Then comes your false employment credentials, and also bribery and corruption. So now the question arises, who conducts the investigation in case of company frauds? The HR managers are increasingly be called upon to conduct in-house investigations. The question of whether to bring in a law enforcement, a regulatory agency, external audit firms, a private law firm, or to handle the matter in-house in an open one. This decision is fact and case specific and will depend upon the duration and breadth of the potential. The problem as well as potential in-house investigatory skills. Many times the in-house investigations are coordinated with the outside counsel. If the company initially decides that it will conduct an internal investigation instead of an external investigation, the roles of the individuals involved in the investigation should be clearly delineated. If the investigation is conducted in-house under the supervision of an HR manager, then the benefits may include like heightened knowledge about the company's business and employees and procedures, and second can be your increased control over the investigation and as well as the possibilities of resulting in the publicity of the fraud or anything that is committed, and third can be an unfiltered view of the fraud at the extent of it, like you can get the actual report of it, like what is it, how does it happen. Now, how can we prevent fraud from happening or taking place? One of the best ways is to develop policies and procedures that are effective in prevention of corporate fraud, is with the assistance of an experienced anti-fraud professional who has investigated hundreds of frauds to develop the most relevant and most effective anti-fraud control, like including establish, like first of all it can be establish clear and easy understand standards from top to down, have an employee manual that clearly outlines these standards and keeps the rules from becoming arbitrary. Second can be always check references and perform background checks that include employment credits, licensing, criminal history for all the new hires. Then also there should be proper authorization of transactions, ensuring that the employees aren't exceeding their authority. Independent checks on the performance using audits, surprise checkups, inventory counts, or other procedures to verify compliance with policies and procedures as well as accuracy. Then another thing can be instill an anonymous reporting mechanism such as an employee fraud hotline. Another prevention for like small business owners could be that they should control who first receives the bank statements and other sensitive documents. Like, consider a separate post office box for the purpose of receiving bank statements, customer receipts, and other sensitive documents. Then, so, like, while no company, even the strongest, with the strongest internal controls, is completely protected from fraud, strengthening the internal control policies, processes, and procedures will go a long way, towards making a company less attractive target for both external and internal criminals. Now, an example of a corporate scandal can be the one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in West Bengal that employed political patronage and lured millions of investors to deposit money with the promise of abnormally high returns, including fancy holidays, etc. The chit fund eventually collapsed to defaults after a crackdown in SEBI and the Reserve Bank of India. The default, apart from leaving small depositors high and dry, also led to 10 media outlets owned by company being forced to wind up leaving 1,000 journalists jobless. An online business survey firm that collected thousands of crores of rupees from over 24 lakh investors, asking them to fill surveys and guaranteeing a quadruple their income in 1 year, company was accused of running a Ponzi scheme. A criminal case was registered against the company in 2012, and some accounts are frozen in its business shutdown. Now, what are the penalties or punishment under various acts? As per section 447 of the Companies Act 2013, prescribes that the person who is guilty of fraud shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term of not less than 6 months and up to 10 years, and fine which shall not be less than the amount involved in the fraud and may extend to thrice of such amount. If the fraud involves public interest, the minimum imprisonment to be awarded shall be of 3 years. As per the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2012, if any person convicted offence in this act, there can be punishment of imprisonment up to 3 to 7 years with a fine up to 5 lakh rupees. As per the Indian Penal Code 1860, punishment of offences, every person shall be liable to punishment under this code and not otherwise for every act or omission contrary to the provisions thereof which he or she shall be guilty within India. As per Section 66F, Acts of Cyber Terrorism of Information Technology Act 2002, if a person denies access to authorized personnel to a computer resource, accesses a protected system, or introduces containment into a system, then with the intention of threatening the unity, integrity, and sovereignty or security of India, then he commits cyber terrorism and he is liable of imprisonment up to lifetime imprisonment. The corporate world is witnessing various changes. Corporate world's networks are increasingly being targeted by cyber criminals. Each passing day comes up with some news about breaches on corporate networks at global or Indian levels for running the day-to-day affairs of corporate. The electronic format is the de facto format. Corporate bodies need to be aware of the facts that the law has gone ahead and given an expansive definition of personal information to mean any information that relates to, natural person, which either directly or indirectly, in combination with other information, is, available or likely to be with the body. Corporate is capable of identifying such person. So, what are the precautions that are taken by the companies? First of all, it is necessary for you to know your employees and make employees aware, set up a reporting system. Third, there can be implement of internal controls and also monitor the vacation balances. I'm so sorry. And fifth, hire experts and then live in the corporate culture. So, these are some of the precautions that can be taken by the companies. So, with this, we come to the conclusion that the corporate frauds and scams generally erode corporate wealth. Corporate India as a whole, has invested interest in preventing and minimizing the corporate frauds and scams. Independent directors on audit committee is one of the best ways to reinforcing internal and annual statutory audit. Their independence must be strengthened with respect to incentives in and compensation is about ethics and can only be sparingly controlled. The solutions to cooperate fraud must be comprehensive and all encompassing. So with this we come to the end of this video. If there are any doubts, anything, do mention them in the comment box. Thank you.